Okay, do you remember that night I was up because I couldn't sleep? Well, I was thinking of the story I've been wanting to tell you for so long, and it's about this guy. His name is Nestor Flores. He's 31 years old, and he's from Dallas, Texas. And this is what happened. Well, he went out to drink with his friends, for a little bit, for not that long, and he just had a couple of drinks. And then after that, he got in his car and he said, you know what, I'm okay to drive. I didn't drink that much. So he decided that he can drive. And his friends were like, okay, well, we're not that bad. We just drank a little bit, so it's okay if we drive home. So he felt like he was okay. He was driving home, but on his way home, there's this highway that he has to take to get to his house. And he used to get pulled over there before, so he was a little scared. He was thinking like, man, if I get pulled over, I could get deported, because also he wasn't born in the US, so he was scared of that. He's like, if I get pulled over when I'm normal, imagine right now that I had a couple of drinks and I'm also not legally, like to be in the US. So that was in the back in his mind, but he was driving very careful on that road to get to his house on that highway. And he had a soda next to him, so he'll pick up the drink, take a sip, put it back in the cup holder. And in that second that he picked up the cup holder and he put it back slowly, he looked where to put it. It was just a couple of seconds. He hits a deer. He sees the deer like right in front of him, and there was no way he could like turn or go to the side. Even though there was no cars, it was like too fast. So he hits the deer and it breaks his windshield, but he was able to like not lose control. So he was able to keep driving, keep going straight. And he was just looking around for the cops to see if like they saw him or anything, but he didn't see anybody. And right ahead, he was panicking, so he kind of stopped on the side and he looked back to see if like that deer caused another car accident or it was just him. And he was also worried about the deer, to see if the deer was okay, but he didn't see any cars. So he was like, you know what, well, I could keep going. The deer's probably fine. He probably ran and he's okay. But his windshield was broken. Like where he drives, he was able to see, but the side, it was broken, And he was driving. He's like, okay, I need to get home as fast, because I don't want a cop to see me. Now I could get in trouble for probably hitting a deer. He didn't know, or he doesn't know the law about hitting a deer. So he's like, I don't know, but I'll fix my car tomorrow and I'll see if the deer's fine tomorrow. I just need to get home. So he went back on the highway and he was driving home. And after a few minutes driving, smoke started coming out of his car. Like a lot of smoke started coming out. So a lot of smoke started coming out, and then the car was making this weird noise. So he said, you know what, I need to stop. I need to pull over, because if a cop sees me and my car is making these noises and the smoke's coming out, I'm gonna get in trouble even more, So he got out of the highway, and he sees that there was like a open, there was a restaurant that was open. So he pulled over into the driveway, and he just stays in his car for a couple minutes, just thinking like, man, hopefully the smoke goes away. That way I can continue on my way home. And that he just waits. He sees that the smoke was gone after a few minutes. He was in Jack in the Box, right in the parking lot. So he's like, okay, the smoke is gone. I think I can go home. So he tried to turn his car back on, and it wouldn't turn on anymore. So he was like, oh my gosh, this is just like a horrible day. This day is not going very good. Like, first I hit the deer, and then my car, now I have to fix the windshield, and now my car doesn't turn on. And then he wants to grab his phone, and then his phone's dead. So he was devastated. He was sad. He was like, this, how how worse can this be, you know? So his phone was dead. He wanted to call the towing truck or someone to help him, and he didn't have a phone now. And he's like, man, I don't even have a charger. So he saw that the Jack in the Box was open. He said, you know what, I'm gonna walk in there and maybe someone can help me just charge my phone for a few minutes so I could call someone or the towing company, because I do not want to get in trouble. You know, he was trying not to get in trouble by the cops. So he walks inside and he has his phone, and he, you know, he didn't see anybody in there because it was very late, just the workers. And then one of the girls that was right there cleaning, she just stares at him like scared, you know, and he was like, hi, you know, do you have a charger? Because I need to charge my phone, it's dead, and I need to call the towing company. And the girl was just like staring at her scared, like she didn't talk for a few seconds, and he was like, hi, do you have a charger? She was like, no, we don't have a charger. But her face was like, you know, scared of him, like, oh my gosh, like kind of looking at him weird. And he's like, okay, thank you. So he left. He was like, man, now what am I gonna do? I don't have like a charger, my car doesn't turn on. So he started opening his trunk to see if he might have a cable there that was able to help his phone turn on. And he was searching all over his car. So he just like, I gave up. So he went to sat down. He sat down back in, you know, the driver's seat, and he felt really tired. He was so tired that he just fell asleep. He fell asleep. And 2 hours passed maybe, and someone knocked on his windshield 2 hours later. And when he looked to the window, he saw a flashlight, and it was a cop flashing at him. So that's what he was trying to avoid, not to get, you know, pulled over or seen by the cops. And when he looked, he was like, oh man. Well, he thought, at least I'm not driving. And the cop was like, roll your window down. So he did. He's like, hi, officer. He started explaining, you know, and the cop was like, hold on, what happened tonight? And, you know, and Nestor was, well, I got, you know, on the way home, I hit a deer, and my car didn't turn on, so I came here, you know, parked for a moment. So the cop was like, okay, let me see, you know, step out of the car. So when Nestor was about to step out of the car and he flashed to the passenger side, the cop immediately got scared. He was like, okay, get out of the car now. He started being more aggressive towards him. And Nestor was like, why? What's going on? What's going on? He didn't know what was going on. Why did they change and start being mean to him? So Nestor, when he looked to the passenger side, he saw a man's body in the passenger side. So what Nestor thought it was a deer that he hit on the way, it was actually a man. It was actually a man, and that man is Terry Ivory. He's 45 years old. And Nestor had no idea that this whole time there was a human, a person next to him, dead. You know, he was driving so fast that the person went through the windshield, and he didn't have legs, so parts of his body were in the highway. Nestor really thought he hit a deer, and he was scared. He was panicking as well when he noticed that it was a person next to him. And that girl in Jack in the Box that was scared when she saw him was because he was full of blood, and he didn't even realize how much blood he had on him for the impact, you know, that splash blood on him. So yeah, Nestor was arrested, and Terry Ivory, you know, he passed away due to that car accident. And yeah, that's the story I wanted to tell you.